Yo, what's going on everyone? My name is Nate and welcome to our draft analysis for season number 6 of the APA. Of course, as always, I'm your coach of the New York Noibats and I'm really excited. Oh, there goes my phone. Falls right out of my pocket. Darn. Oh well, we'll just keep going. So this season is really cool because we pretty much get to play in LAN mode. And pretty much what we're doing is that we are tricking our Nintendo Switches to think that we are playing in the same room as each other. So it pretty much bypasses legality checks. So which means that we get to bring the hidden abilities, the unreleased hidden abilities of Pokemon that are in Sword and Shield. So for example, Rillaboom has Grassy Surge as a hidden ability. I really should turn my phone off too, because not only did it fall out of my pocket, it's now going off. So Grassy Surge, Rillaboom is available, and that type of thing. So without really going into too much detail, it's pretty much a standard draft. You know, you get a tier 1, tier 2, 2 tier 3s, a tier 4, tier 5, and then 400 points of the free picks where you can do anything you want with. And each tier is then given a certain point value, and then you get to pick from each tier. So what we're gonna do is I think we're just gonna jump right into the picks, and I'm not sure if I said this, but we're just gonna go from tier 1 down to the free picks. This is not in the order that I drafted them in, but this is what they are. I couldn't find my draft order on the APA page, so I think maybe I'm doing something wrong, maybe I'm dumb, I don't know, but I guess let's just jump into it. So our first pick is Drakovish, and we were pretty late in the draft pick, so my whole idea of this draft is to pretty much recreate as close as possible to the original draft, because we had redrafted originally, and I really liked my team. I felt like my team was really good, and I was really happy with it. So once we decided we were gonna do another redraft because of home content, I wanted to kind of keep the same team that I had, but obviously it's not guaranteed. So I had Drakovish on the original team, and I was really excited to use it because it's one of those Pokemon that's so iconic in this generation because of how strong it is. Obviously, Fish's Rend is just absolutely disgusting. If you go first, it's an insanely strong move. Now, because of the hidden abilities, we are actually able to use Sand Rush in certain situations. Meaning we would lose a little bit of power from Strong Jaw, but that Sand Rush being faster than everything would pretty much guarantee a +2 speed on this thing in the sand. And then our Fish's Rends would always go first, meaning they are at 100% maximum strength. So Water Dragon type is a really good typing as well. It's the start of the Fire Water Grass core. It's the start of our Fairy Steel Dragon core. It can be used really offensively. It has a nice defensive typing, as well as really good defensive bulk. That 90 HP, 100 defense, and 80 speed def is really good. It has access to like Psychic Fangs, Crunch, Ice Fang for coverage. I don't know if it, I mean, it obviously it's got like Outrage and things like that for stab. It's overall just one of those mons that you don't really need to talk too much about. Is pretty much going to do the same thing every single week. So but the good thing is with the hidden abilities, we can kind of maybe bring Sand or something like that, and maybe be able to like switch up our moves, because the one I think downfall, I don't know, like I don't want to say like there's, what's the right word, usually Drakovish's weakness is that it gets locked into a move. I think weakness is the word I'm looking for. Is it gets locked into a move because it's kind of either it's forced to run Scarf or Band, something of that sort. But with Sand Rush, we can go we don't have to run Choice Scarf. We can run Sand Rush in combination of like Life Orb or something like that, and be able to switch up our moves and still hit really, really hard. So yeah. Now for my tier 2, you guys are gonna be really excited about this if you haven't seen it already. We got Draco Soul. So Draco Soul is very much similar. It's I don't know the English terms for this, even though I was born in the United States, I don't know the English terms for these. It's similar to Drakovish, where it gets Sand Rush as a hidden ability. So we no longer have to run Choice Scarf. We don't have to be forced to run the Choice Scarf to go for our Bolt Beaks. This thing is really, really cool because they pretty much break free each other in a sense. Like the ground types that Draco Soul does not like get broken down by Drakovish, the water type. So they just kind of help break each other's things that they struggle to beat. So that's really, really cool. It has Hustle as an ability, so it's kind of like a choice band. We risk missing our moves. I don't know if it actually gets anything to boost its accuracy, but if it does, maybe we'll run some of that setup. But we might also just go Sand Rush, and we might go Volt Absorb if we need it that week. So depending on the situation, we're not really just locked into that one single ability. Being able to use all 3 of those abilities is absolutely huge. So I don't know if there's really much else I should say about this. Like Bolt Beak being able to use its signature move at full power, like 100% of the time, because you're always going to be outspeeding something in the sand, is really, really nice. I think this is cool. I think it's a cool mon. So moving on to the next mon. This is my tier 3. This is Galvan Chula. We got the mascot. GalvaNate picked up Galvan Chula. So I really like Galvan Chula a lot because it does give us a fast mon. The thing with the Sword and Shield meta is that it feels like everything is really slowed down a bit. Now with Home, we did introduce some of the faster mons, like things like Zeraora and things like that. Those are going to be still fast. Those are still going to be a problem, but those the majority, the larger majority. I don't know what's going on with my green screen. It sucks. The large majority of the game is still relatively slow. So sticky web users are just worth so much more, and Galvan Chula setting up sticky webs to help support Drakovish and Draco Soul, making sure that they get to use their signature moves, their strongest moves at 100% of the power, because they will get to go first, is huge. Obviously, Galvan Chula does have more to it than just that. It also can kind of break, being able to use compound I can't speak compound eyes, thunders, being able to go for volt switches, getting momentum on things, going for energy balls, having a nice, really, really strong grass move, having access to that because hidden power is no longer around as an electric type is absolutely huge. So being able to stop ground types that are like water, maybe water ground, like for example I don't know, Wishcash is like the only thing that comes to my mind, but it's trash, so I want to think of something better. It's the slug, Gastrodon. That's the thing. Obviously, Draco Soul and Drakovish would have a really hard time breaking that thing down. But Galvan Chula, Energy Ball, done. Alright, so having a good electric type with a grass move, a really strong grass move, is very nice. Bug Buzz is also good. It's just, I feel like I shouldn't have to talk about Galvan Chula. I'm sorry, I'm wasting your time. So our second tier 3 is Giggle. We got the sand. We set it up with having the Draco Soul, Drakovish with Sand Rush, and now we got our Sand Setter. And Giggle is also a really good Pokemon because look at those stats. Base 135 attack. Base 130 defense. This thing is bulky. Bulky. And it doesn't really need to do much other than just live a little bit, set up the sand, set up some stealth rocks, maybe go for, what's that move that it had before that was really good against fairy types? I'm gonna scroll down, I'm gonna ruin this. It wasn't Iron Head, it was like the weight one. I can't think of it. It was the Heavy Slam. That's what it was. This thing is heavy. So Heavy Slam was always really good for fairies. It could also be a Curse Sweeper, having Stone Edge, Rock Slide, Earthquake. Really, really good Pokemon. So I like it. Stealth Rock Setter, Rock type. What's a flying type? To a Gigalith, alright? So speaking of flying types, our next pick, our tier number 4 is Togetic. I actually did not pick this up until later in the draft. So Togetic is a fairy type, so that does help with our Fairy Steel Dragon Core. In being that this is post-home, that Togetic does get those things that it really does want to have. Like, it has access to Roost. I think it has access to Toxic, but the fact that this is just going to be a really bulky fairy with Tailwind, being able to set up Tailwind to help our Draco Soul and Drakovish, really, really good. Being able to go for Thunder Wave, slowing everything down, Body Slam Paras, nasty. And honestly, I still think that I feel like we're lacking a lot of our like knockoff users, like really strong knockoff users. Like, I feel like it was almost so rampant in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and I think we don't have as many of those in this meta, even post-home meta. Like, I know more things got them, but I feel like they're still not all there, if you know what I mean. So Togetic with an Eviolite, it may be hard for some teams to break down. Obviously, things have gotten toxic again, but this thing does have access to Heal Bell. It can work as a cleric. It can have Nasty Plot. It can kind of set up, put that pressure on, hit people with Fire Blast, Serene Grace, get some burns, that type of thing. So, I don't really know how we will use it, other than maybe just some Tailwind, some Thunder Waves, some little bit of chip damage here and there. I think Togetic is going to be a really cool Pokemon. I feel like it's going to be a staple some weeks just because of how fat it's going to be. So I'm excited to use it. Now we're going to move on to our Tier 5. Tier 5 Liepard? Tier 5 Liepard? I'm telling you, this is slept on. We have another really good speed tier Pokemon, base 106. Are going to be faster than a lot of different things. Has some really good abilities. It has Prankster, has Unburden. I don't know if there's really any way to utilize Unburden with this Pokemon. I mean, it's already so fast, but maybe there's a way that we can maybe boost its attack by 2 with a certain, like something, I don't know, maybe weakness policy. I really have no idea, but maybe we can get an Unburden sweep with Liepard. I think that'd be really cool. The main reason I actually drafted this thing is because it was a dark type. We didn't have a dark type on the team, and as Leo 6-foot hacks always says, you know, you gotta have a dark type on your team. So I know this isn't the best dark type, but it is something that is gonna stop people from just clicking Psychic against me all willy-nilly. So I've never used the word willy-nilly before, and I just decided to use it right there. I don't know why. I've never said that before, like, in my life. I don't think that's ever came out of my mouth until now. Weird things just happen when you record. Don't know why. So anyway, going back to the draft analysis, I've clearly distracted myself. We have Liepard here with Prankster being able to just T-Wave everything. Prankster T-Wave. just slowing everything down again for our main 2 powerhouses. So, now that's not the only thing that Liepard's going to be able to do. It does get other moves such as, what's that move that's usually pretty good? Is it Fake Tears? Fake Tears. Fake Tears is a really interesting move because it lowers their special defense by 2. Then it lets you hit them with like really strong dark pulses. But this thing also gets like Nasty Plot, pretty sure. Nasty Plot, and then I think it also gets like some type of physically boosting move. I'm not really 100% sure. I could be wrong, but it has like decent coverage, like Seed Bomb, Play Rough, has Iron Tail, Gunk Shot for fairies. Like overall, this is a pretty good move, like pretty good Pokemon pick, I think, for tier 5 with its speed stat being able to. I think this thing gets knockoff. It also has Sucker Punch for priority, which is crazy. Throat Chop, tricking items. It has U-turn. It's a U-turn thing for momentum. Like, I don't know what this Pokemon does. I just know I was a Dark type. I'm totally BSing, like acting like I know everything about this thing. I've never really used it, but Liepard. There we go. All right. So now here is the next Pokemon that we have picked, and I think you guys are gonna lose it. This is our GMAX, and it's Sandaconda. Sand-spitting Sandaconda GMAX. And this thing is awesome, dude. Like, not only do you have the ability to set up the sand with this thing as a secondary sand setter for our Sand Rush sweepers, our breakers, however you want to say it, you know, whatever name you want to give them. You also have something with Shed Skin, which is really, really nice because, being that your GMAX has to hold a Pokeball, mandatory, can't hold any other item. That's the way we decided to balance them. If we get Toxic or something like that, something that could whittle us down, right? We can click Rest, maybe. Go back up to full. Shed Skin. Wake up. Lose that sleep. We're back at full health, baby. That's why GMAX Sandaconda is amazing. It also has other good moves. It's also another Stealth Rocker. It's a really thick ground type. As you guys can see, like base 125 defense, such natural bulk. And then it has access to things like Glare, like a really strong Earthquake. And its GMAX move, I believe it's also something that can trap. So you definitely can't sleep on a coil set, like especially defensive coil Sandaconda, because it gets so ridiculously bulky, then it ends up hitting things like ridiculously hard. It has things also like the rock coverage, like Rock Tomb, being able to slow things down. It has a really good speed tier, base 71, just a little bit above those base 70s, you know, just reaching. So I think it's a really good Pokemon. I'm trying to think, man, there's a lot of stuff written about this thing. I'm just trying to see if there's anything that I really missed. Fire Fang is really good. Outrage, Poison Tail. I don't think Poison Tail is something I would use. Maybe. Oh, it also gets Hurricane. Any Pokemon that you can speed boost in GMAX form is amazing, in my opinion. So, Zen Headbutt, set up the Psychic Terrain. Is there any Pokemon that I have that's like would really abuse Psychic Terrain? I don't think I do. I don't think I do. So, probably not the best thing, but still, it's there. I don't think I need to talk about this anymore. Let's move on to the next Pokemon. Polti Guys. Polti Guys is something that I had in my first original draft, and I'm really excited that I was able to pick it up again because it's just such a monster. It's such a monster. All you have to do is get rid of those dark types, get rid of those normal types, and you just click Shadow Ball and win. The only other thing that really, I guess, I don't know what even really gives this thing trouble. It's really just dark types and normal types. It has coverage for grass. Like it gets grass coverage in Giga Drain. I guess the real, it's not really a Pokemon that you can spend too much time talking on it, because it just does maybe one or two things. It can either break with Shadow Ball, or it can Shell Smash and sweep the hell out of you. That's really what it's gonna do. It's really, really strong. It can out smash Pokemon like Hippowdon and Toxapex. That's nuts. Okay. It also gets Aromatherapy, so it's a Cleric. That's really nice. We're not allowed to Baton Pass. Giga Drain, Hex. So, something else I did not mention. This thing has access to Will-O-Wisp and as well as Strength Sap. So it's really weak on its physical side, but you can kind of make up for that. You can Will-O-Wisp, so you can live a hit. You can also Strength Sap, lower their attack, and then if you get hit with something, being able to live with that, with their attack lowered, you're able to get a weak armor. You lower the stage of your defense by 1, and then you get a +2 speed boost for free, just for getting hit. You could also run this thing specially defensive. Base 114 special defense. Throw an Assault Vest on there. Why not? Take those hits. And then Curse Body, obviously, if you get hit with something, you have a 30% chance to disable that move. So, very, very good. The next Pokemon that we're going to talk about is really, really cool. Toxicroak. So, I was really debating in my head with the Pokemon that I had on my team and what I needed. I wanted a fighting type. I also needed something that could be a Scald Switch-in. I didn't really have a Scald Switch-in on my team. Yeah, a lot of those Scalds were just free. But I didn't have a Steel type, and I was really looking at Lucario, but Lucario was tier 2, Toxicroak was tier 3 or tier 4. I don't remember exactly, but I had to make a decision, and I think that overall having a grounded poison type, it was much better. Like I really wanted Lucario. I love Lucario. I love the extreme speeds that it can go for and things like that. But Toxicroak also has access to Bullet Punch. It has access to Sucker Punch. It has access to Vacuum Wave. If this thing could go Swords Dance, this thing could be Nasty Plot. So it can do those things, and it can also do the same job that Lucario was going to do, and that was going to be my Fairy Killer. It was going to be my extra set of priority to help me pick things off. So the fact that we are kind of able to do that with Toxicroak is still good. This thing is, I believe this thing also gets knockoff. I just want to check, because I think that was another thing that I do you get knockoff? I don't think you do. I don't think you do. I mean, this thing, either way, even if it doesn't get knockoff, the Sucker Punch is still good. Ice Punch. I like the fact that it's very similar to Lucario, being able to hit him with like priority Bullet Punch. Gunk Shot still hurts. And you never know, if you prep for the wrong set on Toxicroak, you could just lose the game. Toxicroak is actually very, very scary. Base 85 is a great speed tier if you pair that up with webs and things like that. It's really, really strong. So I think we're almost done. We have one more Pokemon left. My voice is almost dying. And we are patching this all up with Bronzong. And Bronzong, I love this thing. Now, I don't think anybody actually remembers, aside from maybe Kelly. I think Kelly might have been the only one that in my very first draft league on YouTube. Do not look any of this up, by the way. This is cringe. The PGL, my very first draft league. I had Bronzong on my team, and I also had Togetic. I went to the playoffs, and then I got 6-0'd. Oh, man, I got 6-0'd in the playoffs by a contrary sweeping superior because I missed a Hurricane. Let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about it. But Bronzong was on that team. It was on the team that brought me to victory. And it's a really good Pokemon. I really do like how fat this thing is. It helps you get out Stealth Rock. It also helps you switch into Earthquakes, as well as just be fat and get off like little chip damage with like Gyro Ball, just because you're able to live anything. Explosion. I'm trying to think, is there other... Oh, this thing also gets Body Press now? Yo, that's strong. A fighting move? Okay, back in the past, Bronzong really struggled when it came to opposing fighting types. I'm not fighting types, steel types. And you were just like, what can I hit this thing with? I can't hit it with a steel move. It's going to do nothing. If I hit it with a psychic move, it does nothing. This thing now has Body Press. It's not just setup fodder against steel types anymore, which is great. I'm excited about that. I don't know what else this thing gets. It gets Grass Knot? I didn't know that. This thing gets Sandstorm. We can set up the sand with this thing. And Weather Ball? Yo. Weather Ball? That's clean. That's dope. Alright, so Bronzong is here. Bronzong is going to be rounding out the team. Wait. I'm missing a Pokemon. I'm missing a Pokemon. Oh, I missed a Pokemon. I have one more Pokemon. Hold on. You didn't see this. You didn't see this. Okay, hold on. Live editing. Boom! This is our last Pokemon. And this is our Grass type in our Fire, Water, Grass core. And just to let you guys know, we don't actually have a Fire type. So, I fooled you! So, I really do like Whimsicott because Prankster Tailwind is huge. It's absolutely huge. Obviously, it's a little bit weak offensively, but that speed tier is so great. It's amazing. Whimsicott is also something that really does play into my like my play style. There was a team back in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon that pretty much revolved around like heavy breakers and like tailwind setters. And it pretty much had like Whimsicott and like Hoopa Unbound, and you pretty much would just set up Tailwind with Whimsicott, and then you would let it die, Memento, whatever. You would pretty much Whimsicott, Tailwind, Memento, get in Hoopa, get 2 kills, like break down their team. And the cool thing about Whimsicott is, I believe, doesn't this thing also get Defog too? I think this thing gets Defog. I don't know if it's actually going to mention it on this thing as the level as moves on here, because this is Sword and Shield. And I don't know if this is the Smogon page has been updated for this yet. But anyway, just being able to really help the rest of my team out with the support, it's really good. And I don't want to seem like the team just relies on Dracovish and Draco Soul. I think we have other threats as well. Giggle also very strong, being able to pair up with potential Trick Room options with Bronzong, and I believe Polti Guys also gets Trick Room. I could be wrong, but so we do have some really slow Pokemon, some really slow Pokemon to help us in certain Trick Room matchups where you know, maybe their main strategy, their main counter strategy to mine is maybe setting up Trick Room, that type of thing. So so we have that going for us, right? So Whimsicott, just the ultimate what's the word, I don't know, support Pokemon with Memento and coverage moves like Shadow Ball, and Moonblast. Stab, Moonblast. I'm kind of just losing things to say. I know this thing gets like taunt and like encore and stuff like that, but I'm very excited to use this. I think this is I think this Pokemon's gonna be great. So being able to like Tailwind, U-turn, go out into like my breakers like Polti Guys, it's so good, man. I'm excited. So I really do want to know what you guys think of the team. So if you want to let me know in those comments down below, I'd really appreciate it. And make sure you guys go support all the other coaches. All my friends are in here. It's gonna be a good time. Like literally, all my friends. And I'm excited. We get to battle Envy. Envy's is a good friend of ours. We probably seen him again at Worlds, so that's cool. Yeah. Have yourselves a great rest of your day. Peace.